Welcome back, guys. This is Championship Racing once again here at SARCO. We head to Ruapuna Park in New Zealand for round number 4 of the Formula C Championship for 2 races of 12 laps. Each of the races will be determined by a 1-lap flying qualifier. Sit back and enjoy the highlights of both race 1 and 2 here in Lobby 1. So let's take a look at the starting lineup after the 1-lap quali. In 13th place is Dirkie for Tosco 1. He finds himself at the back of the pack, unable to get in a qualifying lap. Ash, he's in 12th place for the Captain Boys. Ash in car number 10, and he lines up next to Dylan in the black Mamba colours. Dylan in car number 34 in 11th position. We move forward to row number 5, and Hugh from TNB, he is in car number 30 alongside the Synergy Racing's Rudy. Rudy's in 9th place, driving in car number 9. Moving forward to row number 4, we have Colin for Dacol Racing. Colin's in 8th place, driving in car number 18, and he lines up next to Jake's, the Black Mamba driver, in 7th position, driving 34. We move forward to row number 3. Ronaldo finds himself 6th for Shake and Bake, and he's up against a Duppy from a TTR in car number 43, starting in 5th position. Row number 2, and we found a Ross for the Project Cat Racing. He's in car number 3 in 4th place, and he is up against Jacques from TTR in car number 43, starting in a high qualifying position of 3rd place. We move to row number 1, and Bruno for Silverback Racing in car number 68. He's in 2nd place, and he lines up next to the championship leader Charles. Charles driving in car number 29 on pole position. We wait for the green lights. It is green lights, and away we go. And Bruno's got a great start off that line. Jacques tucking up right behind Charles. The guys start jockeying for positions to get themselves ready to go into Flexo Pass. Oh, a little tag on the back there of Jacques from Jakes. A little contact between Bruno and Charles. That sends Charles, unfortunately, he's gone off. Well, there's Dylan going straight past Charles on the outside there. Not sure what happened. We'll have to go back and have a look. We see Ronaldo. He's now rejoining the track, coming out of Flexo Pass. This is chasing Dirkie with Colin on his left, Dylan on the right. Colin moves over. Dirkie sees him coming and moves over, just touches Dylan. That sends Dylan off, and you see that Dylan just merrily missing Charles as he comes back onto the track. So Bruno hard on the brakes into Calford Camtech with Jacques, the TTR driver, currently in 2nd place. Just behind him is Jakes. Then it is Duppy, Ronaldo, Ross. Bruno's gone off here at Fulton. Will he hold it once again? Who's off again on the exit? That's allowed Jacques to get right up behind him as they go through a crown lift carousel. Jake C2 has now closed that gap. Ronaldo coming out of a crown lift carousel. He's gone a little bit wide, cuts it back across the track. Colin now closes the gap. Will he cut him off? No, he doesn't. But he definitely does try and squeeze him out there. Colin now on the inside for a Cookram Nissan. Ronaldo goes wide. That's allowed Rudy to go past. That is Dirkie and Charles both go past. So unfortunately, that is now a cost Ronaldo 4 places. Colin currently in the 5th place, has the 2 Tosco drivers behind him. Colin currently circulating in 5th place. There's Dirkie, he goes a little bit wide. Charles moves to the inside. So Charles will take the place. Just behind him is Rudy and Ronaldo. Looks like Ronaldo was making a move there on Rudy. It seemed like Rudy had run a little bit wide, yes. So Ronaldo has taken that place back. Just in the background there, we saw the red car of Ross. He's being chased by Dylan. But Colin are really doing well here at the moment, currently circulating in 5th place. Ross all over the back of Rudy coming crown lip carousel. Ross has got the inside line. Or you see in the background here, there goes Dylan. Well, Rudy tries to go around the outside of Jeff's, but unfortunately not being able to make that stick. Ross back on the power. Oh, he's lost the rear. He's managed to give himself a full 180-degree spin. Rudy goes past. Here comes Hugh, then in the mirror there we can see the Black Mamba driver, Dylan. He's now started to close the gap after he himself having spun off. Ross now recovering on the back of Hugh, has a look to the inside. Hard on the brakes into Flexo cross, side by side. Ross is sideways, Dylan is right up behind him now. Ross manages to make the move very close in between Dylan and Hugh. Ross goes off, takes the side with him. Hugh decides to send it to space. Quite not getting it into orbit. But Dylan, he's now made his move past Hugh. But Hugh's now fighting back. Side by side, Dylan and Hugh into Fulton. Dylan backs off, has to let Hugh go. Back through the crown lift carousel. Dylan running a little bit wide, but Hugh's gone wide. Dylan, it sucks to the inside. Dylan now has the inside line for the rock sweep, and Hugh has to let him go. Bruno leads on lap number 4. Big oversteer moment there for Jacques, coming through the pothole. Hard on the brakes here into Calford Captech, but Jakes is a little bit slow getting back on the power there. We'll keep following the action right here, but then bring up the current positions. Bruno leads with Jacques in seconds. Jakes just over half a second behind him in 3rd place. The Duppy, he chases Jakes by less than a second. Scholl, he's up to 5th place, having gone off into turn number 1. Durkee, he's in 6th with Colin in 7th. Ronaldo in 8th with Rudy in 9th place. Ross is in 10th with Ash 11th. Dylan down in 12th position, and Hugh in 13th place. We jump on board with the Black Mamba driver, Jakes, crossing the line as they begin the lap and number 5. Jakes is just showing his intention, moving to the inside for turn number 1, Flexo pass. Jakes has made that very easy in the end. Lots of respect was shown there by Jacques, just allowing Jakes to have the space he needed. Now, just in the background, that is Duppy closing up on his teammate now. Jacques definitely seems to be losing some pace, and in the background, the two Tosco 2 drivers are still very much together. Duppy taking a much tighter line, coming through the crown lift carousel. Oh, Jacques a little bit too wide in out of Jeff's. Again, just touching that curve, a little bit of oversteer. And across the line to begin the lap number 6. Bruno leads with Jake seconds, Jacques third, Duppy is in 4th, Scholl's in 5th with Durkee is 6th. Colin, well, it seems like Colin and Ronaldo are trading places. Colin 7th with Ronaldo 8th, Rudy 9th, Ross is in 10th place with Dylan 11th, Ash 12th, and Hugh in 13th place. Rudy and Ross are at it again, but Ross not able to capitalize on having the inside there, getting that power on too early and releasing up in that rear. Once again, the Scottish international representing Project Cat Racing gets his car very sideways coming out of pothole. Rudy went a little bit wide. Has he allowed Ross an opportunity to overtake him? No, Rudy's still on the inside, coming into Fulton. Well, looks like Rudy might have just got onto the curb and pushed the car wide, leaving a huge gap there for Ross to move up that position. We chase Rudy coming out of the infield. Ross has got it very, very sideways once again on this track. So Rudy has once again got that place back from Ross. And Ross doing some farm simulator there in the middle of the track. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself there. So just to show how close the front runners are, we've seen the distance there, that is Bruno. So between Bruno and the 7th place driver, there is 5 seconds. Oh, that looked like it was Jacques. Jacques sitting in 3rd place has unfortunately jumped on the curb, and that's allowed his teammate Charles as well as Dirkie to go past. So 6 seconds separates from 1st to 6th. So very close in the dying laps of this race. Jake's being able to close down some of the gap between himself and the leader. But Bruno's had a very good race so far, having jumped Charles off the start and has put himself in 1st place and has kept himself there for this entirety of this race. We are currently on lap number 8. So only 4 laps to go of this race. Race number 1 here at a very clear Ruapuna Park. Well, Jake's going a little bit too hot in there. You'll see that his line will be compromised on the exit. But we'll definitely get a slipstream coming down the start-finish line. So Dupi is now starting to get lots of pressure by the Tosca driver Scholl. Scholl got a much better exit coming out of Flexo Pass. We'll see if he carries that speed here through the pothole. Will he have a look on the inside? No, he doesn't. He decides to go with the wider line, but is not able to do the undercut. Scholl was just moving himself to the inside just to make sure that he can be seen in Dupi's mirrors. On the brakes through Jeff. Very close still here between Dupi and Scholl. Will Scholl be able to get the exit, get into that slipstream and make a move going into Flexo Pass? Dupi moves to the inside of the track. Scholl goes to follow. Dupi comes back to the outside. Oh, that is Dirkie going straight into the back of his teammate. I think the slipstream definitely caught him by surprise, and the speed that he came into Flexo Pass. I would believe that there would be some damage on the rear of Scholl's car. You can still see that his rear wing is there. So that has not gone off completely, but there would definitely be some damage. And Durkee is going to be struggling without a front wing. 6th place, the driver Jacques. You can see he has made easy pickings there of Durkee. Durkee just won't have that downforce needed. Almost done with lap number 11. And Charles still seems to be putting that the pace time and matching Duppy. Well, that looked like a slowdown. Charles was coming off the power there. He will definitely have to fight in this last lap if he wants to try and make a challenge on the back of Duppy. So the second place driver, Jakes, he does have a little bit of pressure from Duppy behind him. We saw just going out of the screen, that was the race leader Bruno. Oh, Jakes making a little bit of a hash of that, locking up, coming into Carl Ford Camtech. Through a crown, a lift, a carousel. Just want to jump up to our race leader. So Bruno comes out of a Cookram Nissan for the last time and into Rock Sweeper. Bruno will cross the line to win. Jakes will finish in second with Duppy right behind him. Scholl finishes in 3rd place with Jacques in 5th. Colin will finish ahead of Ronaldo or Willie as they race through to a Rock Sweeper side by side. Ronaldo chooses the longer outside route. Will follow them to the line. Ronaldo is currently ahead and Ronaldo will take a 6th place over Colin. Durkee will come home in 8th place with Dylan 9th, Rudy 11th. Ash will come home in 11th place. Making a little hash of it, coming through Jeffs, just touched that grass, oversteered the car, then sent him very wide. With Hugh in 12th and Ross in 13th position. So now we head to a race number 2, and unfortunately just in the qualifying and the dying minutes of that, we lose out to 3 drivers, having Ash, Ross and Bruno disconnecting, which means we are starting a race number 2 with only 10 drivers. Before we get this race underway, let's have a look at the starting lineup. In 10th place is Hugh for TNB. Hugh driving in car number 29, and he's alongside Durkee for Tosco in car number 30. We move forward to row number 4, and in 8th place is Ronaldo for Shake and Bake driving car number 59, and he is alongside Rudy for Synergy Racing in car number 9. Rudy starts off in a 7th position. Forward to a row and number 3 in a 6th place is Colin for Dakel Racing driving in car number 18, and he's alongside the Black Mamba Dylan starting off in 5th place. Row number 2 is locked out by the 2 TTR drivers. Jacques, he is in 4th place alongside Duppy in 3rd. Moving forward to a row number 1 in a 2nd place is Jakes for the Black Mambas in car number 34, and he's alongside the pole sitter Charles for Tosca 1 in car and number 29. So as we wait for the green lights, we focus on Ronaldo, currently in 8th place, and green lights and away we go. Oh, we see that there was a TTR driver stopped there. Both Colin and Dylan had to go around him as they head to the first corner. Everyone seems to be safely through so far into a Flexo pass. Oh, a little congestion there. That's Colin and Durkee unfortunately tangling up. but Ronaldo has moved himself up from 8th place. He's currently in 4th. That is a Dylan in right behind him, taking a little bit sideways, but Jakes leaves, then Scholl. That is a Duppy, Ronaldo, a Dylan. Looks like Jacques is making a little move as we see Ronaldo running a little bit wide. Whoa, lots of respect there. We saw that Rudy just moved over to the side to allow Ronaldo to get it back on the track. But a race leader, Jakes T, starts pulling a gap over Scholl and a Duppy for TTR. Coming through a Jeff's corner now, Kukram Nissen. A little bit of oversteer there for Jakes coming out of Kukram Nissen. But down the Dunlop Straight around the rock sweeper. Whoa, big oversteer moment there for Jakes, getting that car very sideways. So Jakes, having started as second on the grid, he crosses the line in first place. Chase Dylan coming into a flexor pass. He seems to have lost their place from Ronaldo again. Dylan obviously having made a mistake. Will Chase seems to be coming through Cashel Straight and through the pothole. Dylan is once again sideways, not looking comfortable with that car. Ronaldo has just duplicated his mistake from the first lap and has allowed Dylan to move ahead. So Ronaldo now has Rudy right on his heels. Tricky corner through Jeff's. Will Rudy have enough pace to make a pass? Who's running himself a little bit wide? He's going to get a slowdown penalty for that. We'll just see if he comes off the power or whether he decides to take a penalty. Lap number 3 and Jacques for TTR is starting to pull a gap away from Duppy. You see a Duppy coming through pothole in the corner of the screen there. So we'll keep the camera here, but what we'll do is we'll bring up the current positions, and we can see Jakes, he still leads with a Scholl 1.6 seconds behind him. Jacques currently in the 3rd place with a Duppy in 4th. Dylan is down in 5th place with Ronaldo in 6th, Rudy 7th, Hugh is in 8th place, and Colin 9th, and Dirkie down in 10th place. Race leader Jakes crosses the line to begin a lap number 4, and we jump on board into a flexo pass down to a 2nd gear. Keep the momentum going, trying not to use that runoff on the outside, as it does minimize the traction you get. You can hear Jakes just tapped off there. Some guys do like to gear down. I personally like to touch the brakes to get that nose in. Carford Camtech, 1st gear corner, trying very hard not to put too much power on, because that definitely does get away from you. Here into Fulton Hogan, that was down into 2nd gear. Keep the power on flat out into 3rd. Then through Crown Lift, a carousel down to 2nd gear. Get the power on as early as possible into 3rd, into 4th. Here a little touch of the brakes, get that nose down, turning it in. Then through a Kukram and Nissen down into 3rd gear. Down at the Dunlop Straight. See, Jakes went very wide. There was a little bit of lag, but it oversteered there, understeered. Not quite sure what happened, but he will across the line to begin a lap number 4. So we see that Jacques has closed this gap down on Scholl just ahead of him. Jakes now having pulled a 4-second gap, so I think Scholl might have got himself a slowdown penalty, and that's allowed Jacques to get right up behind him. Very tidy through the pothole for both these drivers. So knowing that that corner is dipping and pulling you to try and force you to run wide there, and the slowdown penalties on the exit are extremely strict there. I must say, it does look like Charles has got his composure back. That gap starting to open ever so slightly once again. So Jacques would be a little bit too far to make advantage of a slipstream to close down the gap to make a move. So I do think that Charles has fended off this attack for now. Dylan coming through Kukram Nissan. Oh, he's got that very wrong, gone very wide, but avoided the cones. There's Ronaldo. He'll now move to the inside to take that place away from Dylan. Dylan takes a much wider line to just give Ronaldo enough room there. Dylan tucks in behind Ronaldo as they cross the line to begin a lap at number 5. Will Dylan make a look here coming into Flexo Pass? He decides to go wide, see if he can't go around the outside. But cuts back in, right up behind Ronaldo once again. Very tidy for both the drivers through a pothole. Ronaldo's a little bit wide coming out of Calfoot Camtech. That gives Dylan the opportunity. They were just about side by side. Now they'll come through a crown lift, a carousel. Dylan looks to the inside, just not enough space there to make the move. Through a Jeffs and now a Kukram Nissan. Not close enough to make a move coming before a rock sweeper. We jump to the battle for a second and third, and Jacques is still very much hassling Charles. Through crown lift they both go. Well, there's Colin taking evasive action and just getting out the way of this battle. There's a Duppy in the background, currently in a 4th place. Our race leader Jake's just gone past in the bottom of the screen. Will bring up the current positions. So Jake's leads with Charles 2nd. Jacques is in 3rd place with Duppy 4th. Dylan having been able to get past Ronaldo. Ronaldo down into his 6th place with Rudy 7th. Hugh into 8th place. Colin in 9th, and Dirkie down in 10th position. So in shot is Hugh. He's started to just make some ground here on Rudy as they come through a Flexo Pass. A little bit wide there for Hugh, but not going to hamper his exit speed too much. That was a great line. We see Rudy just touching the grass there. That would have slowed him down. And we can see the gap between Hugh and Rudy has definitely closed down. Through a crown lift carousel. Nice, a wide line there for Hugh. Definitely making some ground here on Rudy. Will he be able to find an opportunity to put himself in a position to make a move and a fight for a place? Or Rudy just going a little bit wide? I'm not sure whether that would have given him a slowdown, but he doesn't seem to have come off the pace just yet. Well, that's Hugh going a little bit wide, and that would have opened the gap slightly. So unfortunately, you will have to dig deep once again and start making his attack. Jakes will cross the line to begin a lap number 10. Let's have a quick recap of the current positions. Jakes leads with Charles in second, Jacques right behind him in third place, Duppy's in fourth with Dylan in fifth, Ronaldo in a sixth place with Hugh in seventh, Rudy eighth, Durkee, he has now managed to get himself ahead of Colin, and Colin now down in a 10th position. So Charles is still fighting Jacques behind him. You can see on the top left hand corner the previous lap times, a 1:21.9 to a 1:22.0, so that is less than 1/100th of a second between the two lap times. Charles getting a great exit coming out of a rock sweeper, but still that gap remains within 0.5 of a second. Cross the line, Charles having done a 0.4th of a second slower lap than Jacques, so Jacques definitely closed that gap up that lap. 0.3 the gap now coming into pothole. Will Jacques have a look on the inside? No, not close enough. It is a little bit deceptive when you see the cars coming straight at you. So the battle for 7th and 8th place sees Rudy getting a lot of pressure from Hugh at the moment. Through a crown, a lift. Hugh's got a great exit there. He'll move to the inside. It looks like Hugh will be able to take that place, but he is too tight on the inside. Yes, carrying way too much speed going in there. Rudy takes that place back, coming through Kukram and Nissan, but Rudy runs himself very wide. Hugh's right on him once again. Hugh moves to the inside for the rock sweeper. Side by side through the rock sweeper, but Hugh's made that move very easy in the end. Rudy now tucking in behind, but it seems that the exit that Hugh got was way superior. Then just as you think that there won't be much action for the rest of the race, we see Hugh running very wide. Here's Rudy nearly going to the back of him, going wide, taking evasive action. Joining just behind Hugh. Rudy getting a great line in, but having to just change his line with Hugh having been a little bit too slow for him. So that was very nearly a position change once again between these two. Great racing between them. So with less than half a lap to go, Jacques is still very much behind Charles. Charles has not been able to open this gap between him. Well, that was very close there. Will Jacques be able to get a look on the inside here? No, he has not. So Jakes will cross the line in first place, followed by Charles in second. A very close Jacques in third place, with Duppy fourth, Dylan in fifth place, Ronaldo's is sixth. Hugh will end up seventh ahead of Rudy. A great battle between those two as well. And Durkee will come home in 9th place, with Colin in 10th position. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you can be notified when any new live streams or highlight reels have been posted. We head to Donington Park for round number 5, so tune in shortly, and we'll see you soon on the track. Thanks for watching. Yos.